Google Analytics is extremely useful when you're trying to see where the traffic to your website is coming from, to see if your advertisement is effective. It also helps you see which regions and countries people are coming to your website from. Like this one, we primarily work in the United States, and you can actually see that there's quite a bit of views from China, which is strange and interesting. This could be hack attacks, or it could be something unexplained. So this data can really help you dial down and figure out what's happening with your website, where the people are coming from. Let's say you were advertising your website and then you see this picture here that a bunch of the traffic is coming from China. You would be saying, what the heck, what am I paying money for? Because all of the people that come into my website from China are not going to be converted to customers, because you might be doing some kind of business that's specific to your country. Let's say you're a plumber. So it's really important to install Google Analytics so you can see all of the information here. In this video, we're going to jump into how to install Google Analytics into your WordPress website. So stay tuned, watch till the very end. There is some really interesting information at the very end of the video that's going to help you tremendously. So save that as a really nice thing at the very end of the video for those of you who end up watching it to the very end. Anyways, let's get started. So Google Analytics, you'll need to create an account with Google Analytics. It's fairly straightforward. You just go to google.com in your basic search engine, then you type in Google Analytics. Once you're here, click on the first tab that comes up. It will look like this if you have never created an account, so you would need to click Get Started Today. In my case, I already have an account, so once I click Get Started Today, it just directs me to my Google Analytics account. Now, the setup for a new account is going to be a little bit easier because it will just guide you through the process. And in my case, I already have a whole bunch of different accounts. So for me, it's a little bit more complicated. So I'm going to show you the more complex method, and then it's going to be easier for you to create an account if it's a brand new account. So you want to go over here on the left hand side, click on admin. And then once you're here, it's a little bit counterintuitive. You will click on button create property. Now the property is going to be your website, and we're going to install it into a small website that we're going to be building soon, called nibblescapes.com. Right now it's just one form, but I want to see how many people are actually visiting this one form and where they're coming from. So we're going to be calling it nibblescapes.com, so I don't get confused with a lot of different other websites that I have on my account. And then you want to make sure that you're dialing the right time, so that it's so that it looks correct and easier to navigate. Business details, it doesn't really matter what you select here. Like completely doesn't matter from my understanding. I think this is just stats that Google gets. So we want to be able to generate leads, sure. Drive sales, maybe, definitely, sure, create. Alright, so we're going to have a website, nibblescapes.com. So you want to be logged in into your WordPress administration, wp-admin. That's how you're going to log in into your WordPress admin. wp-admin. You will see that it's going to redirect you to a different URL, which is fine. Then you want to make sure that you know your username and password to get access to your WordPress. If you don't, my recommendation is to reach out to your web developer and get that information from them. Alright, so awesome. Now that we're here, we're going to, there's a couple of ways of installing it. I'm going to show you my preferred method, and then we're going to talk about the more popular method. You probably have noticed that we kind of dropped off here at this stage right now, which is fine. We're just going to keep this tab open here. We're going to go back to our WordPress, and then we're going to go to the appearance and theme file editor, that's where you want to go on the left hand side. You might not see it. If you do not see it, that means that your developer has disabled access for you to this feature because they wanted to protect you from damaging your own website. It happens. I think it's a bad practice, but that's my opinion. Anyways, once you're here, the reason why I think it's a bad idea, because I think everybody, the owner of the account or the owner of the business, should have unrestricted access to their website. Anyways, we're going to navigate on the right hand side here, theme files, and we're going to click on theme header. This is our header file. Might look complicated and scary. Don't worry, it's not as scary. And I'm going to really show you in a few seconds here how to look at this code and like, yeah, I understand this. It's not that complicated. So we're going to actually just leave it at this right now. We're just going to go back here. Sorry, we're jumping between two different tabs here, and that's normal. So just follow through the steps that we're going here. So we're going to click on the web here on the left hand side, and then that's where we want to dial in the domain name, HTTPS. See how it has HTTPS, so we need to make sure that we're not adding HTTPS twice. And we're going to paste nibblescapes.com, your domain name, and then the stream name, I'm just going to call it nibblescapes.com as well. Alright, so we're measuring page views, scrolls, clicks, etc. Create and continue. Alright, awesome. So we are here. Set up a Google tag, and I'm actually going to install manually, and that's bingo. That's what we're looking for. We're going to copy this piece of code here. I'm just going to click on the copy icon over here on the right hand side, and then we're going to head back over. See how we're jumping between two different things, and it's basically telling us to add it immediately after the head element, right? So after the head element. Alright, so let's check it out. Also, what is it saying? Don't add more than one Google tag to each page, right? So if you already have Google tag and it's not working, make sure that you are remove the other Google tag. It will say Google tag. Alright, so in this script, what you don't really need to know any of this stuff here, but what you do need to know is where to find the head tag immediately after the head element. So do you see the head element over here? It says head right here, and when we have a head, this is an opening tag and this is the closing tag. So we need to make sure that we're adding it after the head element. So the head element, believe it or not, is this whole thing. So this is where it starts, head, and then do you see this bracket open, backslash head? When you see the backslash, that means that the head element has ended right here. So backslash means that it's done. And as another example with a different tag here is script. So the script starts here and the script ends here. Right, so after the head tag, this is our head tag. So head element, whatever they call it. So let's paste it here. That's exactly where it needs to go. I'm going to click update file. That's it. Your tag has been added. Alright, so now we have installed it, and then we're going to click test installation. And Google is testing the tag. Your Google tag was correctly detected on your website. Excellent. And then we're going to click confirm. Alright. Data collection isn't active for your website if you install the tags more than 48 hours. Make sure that they are correctly installed. We know that we have installed them correctly and we're good. So we are basically done with this. This is our tag. We're going to track all of this information here and we are done. We're not going to delete the stream. So make sure that you're not clicking the 3 buttons here on the right hand side. A lot of people do that and then they have to start over. Alright, so Once we close out of it, we can see that there's no data in the past 48 hours, and then we're going to click next over here. Data collection is pending. Awesome. So we need to give it some time, wait on up to 48 hours, but you know what? It is working. Check it out. We actually have 2 active users in the last 30 minutes. You know who that user is? That's myself. And we're actually going to test it out by going to the 3 dot icons, incognito window, and then we're going to paste it here. So using incognito window, we can test out if our tag is working. And then we're going to refresh. We'll see if Google will detect me. It's probably detecting my incognito window as myself, because it's probably using the same IP address. But we do see data coming through here. And that's good. That means it's working. Reports, left hand side, real-time overview. See? Yay! 2 active people per minute. Okay, great. And here, see, first visit. See this one over here? That's my incognito window right here. So it's working. Alright, excellent. So an alternative way to add a tag is to go, if you don't have the screen here, is to go to plugins. And then you want to search for HTML snippet. I don't have it here. That means that we need to add it. So you would go to add new plugin on the left hand side at the top, and then you would search for HTML snippet. So there is a lot of plugins to choose from, called snippets. I want to go for something that has a lot of installations. There we go. See this one, WP code, insert headers and footers and custom stuff. So we're going to install this one, going to activate it, and now we're going to go here, the left hand side. It's code snippets right here on the left hand side. If you're not seeing it here, sometimes you're not going to see it, make sure you click refresh on the left hand side. Code snippet. And we're almost there with the really important information that I promised to give you at the very end of the video. Just hold on. We're almost there. Alright, so code snippets. You can actually add HTML snippet over here. So you can see all snippets. I'm not sure why I have a snippet here already. Completely disable comments. I wonder where the heck that came from. But it's not turned on. Display message. I think this plugin comes with some preloaded, and they're not active, so they're not going to change anything. Yeah, to add the snippet of the code this way, you would go to HTML, and then we're going to click Add New, and then we want to. There's so many options to choose from. Add your custom code, new snippet, add custom snippet, the first one right here. Click this button. Some more options. We're going to go with HTML snippet, like this. And then we're going to paste this code, Google tag code. I've lost it. I don't have it in my browser. But let's say this is, let's call it Google code. Okay, let's just call it Google code, and this is our Google tag. I'm just making it. Just imagine that you're pasting this stuff here. Okay. I'm adding it as a comment here. That's why it's that color, so that it doesn't interfere with our programming. All right, so just imagine you have your tag, you've pasted it here, and then we're going to go over here, HTML snippet. We're going to out insert location, So it's going to be a site-wide header. Yeah, looks like this is good. So I'm going to click Save it. Sorry, I have not used this one specifically before. There's another snippet plugin that we used a long time ago, but I don't like to use these types of plugins. They take up too much space and they create security bugs in the website. Alright, I think we have done it. And we're going to inactive, active. So we've activated it. We want to find it. I'm going to go to incognito mode, my favorite incognito mode, and then nibblescapes.com. So I want to find that custom code that we have added. I'm just going to look at HTML, view page source, and then Google. There we go. See, Google. This is our Google tag. Google, there we go, that's what I've added. But it has added it inside the head tag, not after the head tag. This would still work, but you do not have complete control over where this thing will add your code. That's why I do not like to use these types of plugins. I like to add it manually inside the WordPress itself. If your WordPress does not have access to does not give you access to templates, you can add it here. Okay, so one last final thing. My most favorite way to get this done is by going to the actual hosting of the website. I'm going to go to root. Let me navigate over to this domain here. Alright, we're at Nibblescapes on our hosting. Our hosting looks really nice because what we're using is Plesk. Plesk requires money, but you know what? It's absolutely worth it. I'm going to go to dashboard and then I'm going to go to files. And then it's actually going to work the same way if you're using some other hosting system. You just need to find a file manager inside your hosting service provider. I'm going to go to WP content, themes, and then in our case it's UA0. But you will need to know and find whatever theme that you're using. I'm going to come here and then we're going to go to header.php. Header.php. Going to click on this one and you can actually see inside this header.php code the Google tag that we've added through WordPress. But just like you've added it inside the WordPress, you can add it directly here and then you can click save and it's going to go into effect. That's my absolute favorite way. I just love file managers. Alright, so without further things, and we're just going to go to plugins and we're going to delete this plugin. That is the snippet. See how huge this snippet code plugin is? That's why I don't like to use plugins, because it just takes up so much space, so many unnecessary functionalities that you're probably never going to be using. Now, where is it? So here's a little trick that some companies are making. They're going to call it a different name than it actually is. Makes things confusing, so that people don't remove the plugin and continue to use it. So you can actually see that it was called a different name. I'm going to delete it here. Alright, so there we go. That's how we work with the Google tag. Sometimes it's not going to go into effect, and this is really an important thing. People are getting really frustrated. They add the code, the thing doesn't work, and then they think that this whole video is a junk video. It's not. Sometimes what you have is what's called server-side caching. So basically there is a system inside your server that will grab copies, HTML copies of every single page on your website, and it's going to store those copies of your website in a repository. It's like a temporary folder, And then whenever somebody accesses your website, it's actually not going to go to WordPress to pull up all of the information on your website. It actually is going to go to this repository where all of your pages are like pictures almost, so that it's going to pull up those simplified files really fast. The reason why it does that is because if you want, WordPress is huge. It's like 200 megabytes. That's like how big the WordPress is. Sometimes to actually display something, if you're using visual builders on your website, it actually takes a lot of work to create a page, construct it and output it for the browser for you to view a single page. Like, it can go through thousands of lines of code to actually build a page for you. So if you're going to be running a website like that, it's going to be really slow, and Google's going to say, hey, this website is slow, I don't like it. You're going to lose rank in Google. So that's why caching came into play. It's a system that goes through the website, takes simplified snapshots of every single page, and then every time that somebody logs in to your website, not logs in, but views your website, it actually pulls up all of those snapshot pages and displays them so that they load fast, and Google is happy. But in the backend, there's a huge system that actually makes this whole thing happen. You can actually, the name for it is cache, so you can actually see it here, WP fastest cache. In my case, I have a cache set up and configured in such a way that the updates that I make, they quickly update the cached version, so we're not actually seeing any lag between what I update and what's on the online. But in some cases, that lag can take quite some time. It can take several hours for it to update. So what you want to remember is to clear all cache. So once you do some kind of modification, you clear all cache, clear cache and minified files. So it's going to remove all of those cached files. Now, when you're going to access your website, it might actually take a little bit longer to load because it goes through all of the scripts to build the pages. Not only that, it's actually going to go through and create a new cached version of your website. Or more specifically, that specific page that you've loaded. There's different cache systems and they all work differently, so it's important to know which one you have. Even if you clear your cache on your website, sometimes it still does not reflect your Google tag. The reason why that might happen is because your server, your hosting company, has a separate caching system that also takes snapshots of your website. So it's like layer upon layer upon layer. Those are bad hosting companies. Usually they're trying to help, but in reality they're making things worse. So if that's the case, I would think twice about hosting there, but just give it some time. Trust the process, give it some time, and then it should appear. If you are still not seeing that Google tag come up after a while, you have a bit of a more serious problem. You probably have multiple installations of your website and confusion with scripts, like you might be installing it into a temporary space that is there for developers and not for the public view. Alright, so hopefully that helped. If you need any assistance with web development work, or if you need help with getting this up and running on your website fast, check us out at my company webaika.com. We develop high-end, really beautiful, not expensive, but really beautiful and really high-end websites. You can check out our portfolio with different website samples of different companies that we've built websites for. Also check out our website maintenance plan. Website maintenance is critical for any WordPress operation. If you have a WordPress website, you do need to have a maintenance plan for it to work properly, unless you know how to maintain your website yourself. Alright, so that is it. Let me know if you have any questions. Comment down below. If you were able to install Google tag with this video, drop a comment. Say, thanks, that worked. or something along those lines. If you are struggling with something, let me know. I do respond to comments. We'll see you in the next video.